So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down and showing you guys exactly how to set up WebinarJam in 2025. I'm also going to be exposing some of the secret settings I've used to generate over 6 figures in client revenue using WebinarJam. Just to kick things off, when you first purchase your subscription, you're going to be thrown into this page. So you're going to click WebinarJam, super simple. Click that, and then you're going to be thrown into this dashboard looking page. So here you can see here's the home page, the webinars, then you can see the analytics after you've run a webinar, you've run your webinar. Then you can see the registrants, so you can pull out like registration lists, attended lists, non-attended lists in segments, which is really good. So you can create really personalized email sequences to different email lists. And then you have some training materials there. And also, if you're wondering how you can get a WebinarJam API to connect your Go High Level, your Zapier, or whatever third-party software you want to use that you need API for, you need to click this little button here, and then there's an API section, and you need to apply for it. But if you need help with that, you can DM me on IG and I can help you with that. But yeah, so how to actually set up your first ever webinar? Super straightforward. Just click the add webinar here, go full configuration, never do the express configuration, because you never know if, or I wouldn't trust the WebinarJam's like default settings, because some of them are pretty bad, to be honest. So just go full configuration. Oh, then you come on this page. I'll just go schedule for later, but if you're running the webinar right now, you wanna click this one, or if you're kind of doing like a evergreen webinar that's gonna be always running, you can do this. But I've only ever used this option, so scheduling webinars a week away or 2 weeks away, and then marketing them, etc. Then just click next. So now you're in the settings section. You have 9 different parts that you need to go through, and they're all super straightforward, and I'm going to walk you guys through all of them. But starting with the basic settings, super simple. Your internal, like your webinar name, this doesn't matter, that's going to just show up on the dashboard, so you can put anything there. Let's test. Then the webinar title, this is going to show up to the audience when they're in the kind of the waiting room. So we really want to think about this one, make it really good. And then also the webinar description, that's going to tell the audience about like the webinar, what's going to be happening in the live room. Then in terms of the thumbnail, you should definitely have a thumbnail here, but just keep in mind that it's going to be max 1 megabyte. So you need to probably use some sort of like PNG or like some sort of compressor to compress it to 1 megabyte. And just keep in mind that all the images that you upload to WebinarJam, they all need to be under 1 megabyte. So it's pretty annoying, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, right? But once you've gotten this ready, and obviously webinar language probably gonna be English for most of you guys, but they have a nice variety of different languages here that you can choose from. So then click save once you're done with this. Then you're gonna go into the webinar presenters section. So usually you're probably gonna have this one presenter. It's gonna be blurred out because I don't want to leak my client's info because I'm on my client's account. But yeah, so basically just make sure that the webinar presenter's name is right, the email is correct, and then you should upload a picture of the presenter here, because it's gonna be showing up on the sign up form when people are signing up for your webinars. So it's nice to have a picture to match the name. Then in terms of the streaming service, I've always used WebinarJam. I've seen some people use YouTube Live and Facebook Live. So I've heard that they're decent either way. So just suit the one that you're the most comfortable with. I would highly recommend WebinarJam, since it's the most customizable and super simple to use. Now that we've gotten the configurations done, we can move into the schedules. In terms of the webinar schedule, so here you get to choose if you want to run a one single session, multiple different sessions, or recurring sessions. I've mainly used only one single session, but I see a lot of people using multiple sessions as well. But just in this case, we're running a one single session. So here you select the day when you're running the webinar and the time and the time zone. So make sure the time zone is also correct, and then just click add. And make sure to have this on as well, so visitors will actually see the time in their time zone. So it converts it automatically, which is going to help you with people showing up at the right time. Then just click save and next. Now the registration page. So I would highly recommend doing a custom page. You can do a simple one using Lovable or Bolt or any vibe coder app. But if you're lazy and you decide to go and just use one of the default ones, which is not really recommended, you can easily just click the one you prefer and just go customize, and you can fully customize the site. Well, it's super annoying. So highly recommend doing your own custom website, and once you do it, just put the custom URL, or you put your website URL here, and then it's set up. Or obviously I'm gonna show you later, guys, how you can actually set up really nicely, but then it's basically set up from here. Right, then just click save once you've gotten that done. Then in terms of the registration form fields, we usually, I think they have last name here as an option. We don't usually like to collect last names. There's no point in kind of collecting the last name, but if you want to, you should. Then the phone number is something that's super important as well. Should be mandatory, because if you have a proper sales team that's dialed in, or if you're running a webinar where you're not selling anything, it's nice to send reminders before the webinar and after the webinar for follow-ups, etc. So this is what we usually collect from the registration. Then in terms of the subscription to future webinars, this is optional. Sometimes I have it on, sometimes I don't. But this is just that when they, in the future, if they want to join your other webinars, they have their information stored automatically. So they'll be, it's low friction to register to future webinars, basically. Then if you want to do a free or paid webinar, you can change it here. I've always run free webinars, but if you're looking to run a paid one, you can easily do it there. Then registration notifications, I won't have that on. Your notifications are going to be blowing up. Then password protection, this is not needed. You shouldn't have a password for your webinar. Then in terms of the notifications and sending reminders, I've mainly used just WebinarJam's email, or you can use your own autoresponder, whichever. Both work. And then from here you get to send the reminders. So what we usually like to do is send the one that goes out immediately. Then we like to run like daily reminders, if not daily, bi-daily reminders. But if you're running daily reminders, they should be like value based, so not just like, hey, just checking in that you're, or just reminding about my webinar in 5 days, all of your emails should have some type of, you should either give value or educate your audience, or basically they should be kind of value-based emails that just have a reminder in it. and they could be like objection, like limiting belief breaking emails, giving out free value, showing testimonials, case studies, objection handling in the emails, etc. But don't just do broad, hey, just reminding you about the email. And on the last day, I would run 3 hours before, and hour before, and 50 minutes before, and then 15 minutes after you've started, right? And then with the post webinars, we like to run them through a different software because it's easier for us. But you can run them through WebinarJam, of course, as well, and you can just add them there. Super simple. Then in terms of the integrations, I usually just do the integrations through APIs. It's a bit more easier, and I like to do it that way. But you can integrate whatever software they have here through this. And then if you have a third-party tracking system, you can embed it here. I've never used that before, but maybe some of you guys will use that. Who knows? Then in terms of the thank you page, this should be a custom page as well. What we usually like to do is we have a custom page once they register that has a video that tells like, hey, you just did a great decision, you registered for my webinar, it's going to be hosted on XYZ date, kind of reinforcing their decision, kind of hyping them up for the webinar, and then having a CTA to maybe joining a WhatsApp group where we nurture them, or then checking their emails to confirm that they're actually registered and getting their link, right? And the custom page should be super simple, just maybe a video, a thank you VSL, thank you video, and then getting them to add it. Oh, it's also really good. You can do custom links with this website. So I'm just gonna show it here as well. So with this website, you can do custom links, labnel.org. You can do custom links that once you click it, it automatically adds the event to the registrant's calendar. So it just one click to add their calendar, which is super good. So then they have it on their calendar. They're gonna get reminders about it, and it's more likely for them to show up as well. So on the thank you page, you should have a labnel link for sure. And please just make a custom page. You can do this by creating a lovable page or whatever website builder you use. Well, if you're not gonna do it, there's some templates for it as well. For some built-in templates for the thank you page. Then you can. I've never done a survey to my registrants. I feel like it's just more friction. But if you really want to, you can do a poll, a survey for your registrants. But I wouldn't really recommend it. And then here you get to configure the thank you page. But please just do a custom one. It's so much easier. Yep. Then next, in terms of the live, so super simple. Here you can put the agenda, and the registrants can see what you guys will be going through. I would make one with maybe ChatGPT. Just you can don't use this is bad, but go to ChatGPT and then just like print out the agenda that you guys are gonna be going through in the webinar. By the way, if you're looking for some help with your webinars, book a call down below, and let's see if I can or my team can potentially help you. Then autoplay. This is when they join the webinar, will the webinar automatically play, or will it display something like that if you can see on the screen that like a play button basically. I usually like to have it disable autoplay just so the viewer is in control. They get to choose when they actually want to watch the webinar, so we're kind of pushing it to their face when they join the webinar. And they also could be in a bad spot, maybe walking or maybe hopefully not walking somewhere in public, but maybe in a car with other people, if that makes sense. Then in terms of full screen button, yeah, you should always have this so people can make the webinar full screen. Countdown page design. So this is the page where, let's say the webinar hasn't started yet, and some of the people click on the link to join the webinar. You're gonna be sent to this page. And this one you can't make like an external third-party website, so you're gonna have to go with one of these preset websites. But this isn't that important. It's not the biggest. It's not the end of the world if it's ugly, if it's not that cool. But yeah, here you can just choose the best one and customize it how you like it. Then live room design, super simple. You get to choose the color, how it's structured, etc. Or here's the color, how it's structured, and you can also show presenter details like their Instagram, their YouTube, their X, etc. And then share screen mode, this should be toggled on as well. Then polls and quizzes, here you can like add them beforehand. You can also add these from the WebinarJam live room while presenting. But if you have some good polls that you know that you're gonna be doing on the webinar, you can add them beforehand. And then also product offers, here just click add new offer, configure it, and remember, if you add a picture to this, it gotta be under 1 megabyte, so just keep that in mind. And here you can add also, you can do scarcity for your offers, which is pretty cool. Like what you can do is like you can add 50 units, and then in the WebinarJam live room, you can basically make it go down, right? So you can like add scarcity in real time by manually just decreasing the amount, and that has helped super well for us. And now you can also do urgency by a timer, so that's pretty cool. Then in terms of the presentation slides, so you should always upload the slides that you're going to be presenting in the webinar beforehand. And just keep in mind, this might take 10 to 20 minutes sometimes if you have a lot of slides. So please do it at least 30 minutes before the webinar, just for your own, for your mental health, because you can just imagine how stressful it is. You're uploading the slides 5 minutes before the webinar, and they're not uploading, and people are DMing you on social medias like, where are you? Hey, why is it not starting? Just because you decided to upload the slides later. But super simple. On here, the max size 80 megabytes, which is still kind of low, so you're gonna have to probably run them through some PDF compressor or some media compressor. But yeah, just put the name here, and then you can drag and drop the file here, or then upload the file from your files, basically. And then the last one, so replay recording, I always like to have this on. You manually have to toggle it on for some reason. And then you have the replica replay. You should use this always, or if you have a custom video, you're gonna clip the recording down, etc. You can do that. And then replay controls, you can either give them like chance to kind of play with the controls or no. Then the replay chat, will they be able to see the chat? And then replay page expiration date. You can set them like if you want to add like crazy urgency that this replay is gonna be expired in 7 days, you can do it here. Then you can have, I usually just like to keep this off. Probably not gonna see those questions ever, so it's kind of useless, if that makes sense. Now you're done with the full configuration of the webinar. Great, you've made it this far, but you're not ready yet, right? If you didn't do any customized, any third-party websites, then you're basically almost good to go. But if you have like customized third-party websites, here's how you can actually add the link I can actually add the registration buttons to your custom registration pages. So you can either just add the full-on like a like registration bar button, a bubble, or embedded form. Well, what I usually like to do is go here and take the WebinarJam hash code, right? And then you can have a customized button, because like these WebinarJam buttons are kind of ugly. So you can have a customized button where you can just like put the WebinarJam hash code, and you can have really nice buttons on your website, so they're not like these ugly ones that I wouldn't even click this myself. But yeah, if that makes sense. Or you can just, if you want to just be simple about everything, you can just take the full embedded code and just put this into your code, or tell AI to integrate it in your code. And now in terms of, so here you can find the links. This is the registration page, and if for some reason some of your attendees don't find their links or can't find their links, you can send them this link, or your registration, the people who have registered to your webinar, you can send them this link to access the live room instantly. And then for presenters, so here's the link for presenters. And also, if you're gonna be having a kind of a mod, or someone watching the chat and running the polls and all of the offers for you, they also enter the live room through this link. But the moderator should have his camera off and mic off when they enter the live room, because otherwise it's gonna cause some interesting confusion in the live room, because there is some random guy who just joined the room as a presenter, if it's not the other presenter, right? And then after webinar, if you put the replays on, you're gonna be able to access your replay from here. Right, that's in terms of the links, setting up the WebinarJam, full configuration, everything like that. Now we're gonna run a quick test, and I'm gonna show you guys how to actually properly run the webinar as well. So now you're in test mode. You'll know that you're in test mode when you see this. So just click the presenters and then live room, and click this arrow here. And just continue. Here you'll be able to turn off your video, your audio, etc. And you can change your video settings, or your video like output input device, your audio output input device. Just make sure that these are correct before you enter the live room. Then when everything is right, just click yes, enter room. Now you're here, perfect. So this is how the live room is gonna look like for the presenter and also the moderator. And I'll actually walk you through guys how to actually configure all of the settings. So starting from the top, so there you can disable or enable the chat. You can sometimes, if you're doing something important and you don't want people spamming the chat, you can disable it, or you can just always have it enabled. Here you can configure the settings if you want to accept like private and public messages, etc. If you want the attendees to see how many people are in the live room, I just like to keep this off. I don't know why, but you can even keep it on or off. It doesn't really matter. It's just personal preference. Then attendees may register to speak. I usually like to keep it off as well, so it doesn't really interrupt the presenter. But if you're gonna have people coming up and speaking as well, you can have this on. Then here you can get to configure how the live room is actually going to look. So there's just a bunch of different settings that you can choose from. You can play around with this. You can display your own logo here. Display the title of the webinar. And here you can, once you're screen sharing, you can kind of move around your webcam to not, let's say you're blocking some of the text on your presentation. You can move around your webcam with these settings. Then in terms of the attendees, here you can see how many people are in the room, and you can also see how many people are in the room from here as well. Here is the chat, and also you can see the Q&A section here. And using these settings, you can also write like highlighted messages. So they're highlighted like that, or you can do tips, etc. You can play around with this. Then here you're gonna see if you did some polls, or like uploaded some polls or did some polls beforehand in the WebinarJam settings, you're gonna see them here, and you're gonna be able to publish them through this. If you didn't, you can create a new one just from here. Same thing for offers. If you did create some beforehand, you can publish them from here. If not, you can create them here as well. Then videos, you can add videos to be shown on the presentation as well, or on the main screen. And files, and these are gonna actually pop up in the chat to people to click on and like download, etc. So if you want to give out some like free documents, free SOPs, whatever, you can give them out through this way. Then if you uploaded your slides beforehand, you can add them from here, or you can start presenting them from here. I would at least upload them beforehand from the settings. I wouldn't leave them at the last minute and try to upload them from here, because it's gonna take a while. And here you can see the speakers and the agenda of the webinar. Alright, and then on the top bar you'll be able to turn your video on and off, your mic on and off. You can change your background. You can, through this, you can screen share, and then through this you can write and kind of draw on a whiteboard, and then you have the audio and video settings here. And when you're in the official live room, you'll be able to go live through this, but since we are in the test room, it doesn't matter. So you can invite your friends here in the test room just to check that everything is all right, your team members, and you can go live, or you have to go live if you want them in the test live room. So don't be afraid to actually go live in the test room. It's not gonna trigger the main webinar, so you'll be good. And that's pretty much it. By the way, if you're looking for some help with your webinars, book a call down below, and let's see if I can or my team can potentially help you. But that's it for the video. Thank you for making it this far. If you have any questions, if you need help with the API, DM me on IG or comment down below. I'll help you. Other than that, take care and have a blessed day.